I was wondering, having played two at least relatively similar roles between Spartacus and Nyssa on Arrow, how just like trying to nail their personality down and make sure they're distinct. How did you approach doing that as an actor?
Thanks for closing that. So I was like, oh, I can't focus. So I think the beautiful thing, so on Spartacus I played a character named Mira, for anybody that hasn't watched her. She was a slave who turned rebellion and then eventually became this super, sorry children, badass chick who helped fight alongside of Spartacus, and then eventually she died for her cause. Spoiler alert, sorry about that again. Oh, so let's just put a little disclaimer out for spoiler alerts. If anybody is not caught up on Arrow, I'm so sorry. I'm kind of sorry, but not really, because how do you show up at a convention and not be caught up? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that. I'm not judging though, a little, just not but I'm not going to say I'm judging out loud. I'll just keep it to myself. Okay, so basically she went from a person who had zero self-esteem, zero self-worth. She was told when to wake up, what to eat, what to dress, what to do every minute of her day, so she had no free will or free thought. And the beautiful thing about her character is that she went from absolutely nothing and found herself, found her cause, found love, fought for it, and eventually died for it. So she went from going from a very weak person to one of the strongest women that I've had the opportunity to meet. Whereas Nyssa went from the opposite. She was born into essentially royalty. She was told what she was in this world, that she was royalty, that she eventually was going to become heir to the demon, or become heir to the demon. There you go. She knew her value, she knew her self-worth, she knew her place in this world, and slowly, as you watch through the seasons, one thing after another gets taken away from her. And then eventually you find her in this place where she suddenly has nothing. She's no longer heir to the demon, she's suddenly married to a man. Weird. The love of her life she thinks is dead for a while. She has no friends, she has no place in the world, and she's essentially ousted from the League of Assassins. So you have to watch this girl go from knowing exactly who she is, basically take a tumble off of her little soapbox, and then eventually have to fight her way back into a person that she wants to be and who she's proud of. So I think it was almost just kind of reversing the process with both characters, and that's why I think both of them were really beautiful, because they had so much growth and such an arc to go through, and I think a lot of us actually can relate to that either one way or the other. Sweet. Oh, hello. John, you're on it. You're good. Look at you.
Hi, I'm Natasha.
Hi, Tasha. Did you walk past me this morning while I was working out?
Yeah, I was.
I was like on the treadmill or something. I was like,
Yeah,
hey.
I was like, that was so awesome because you were like working out. She was dedicated. My friend Kim would just love
Do you
that.
want to know why? It's because I ate 3 desserts last night. I was like, oh, girl, you better get up. So.
Thank you for that. Alright, so speaking of Mira and Nyssa, if you were ever like in the same room, like what do you think would be their conversation?
Oh, by the way, can everybody hear it?
Yes, can anyone hear me?
She's like, no.
No.
There's, oh.
It's
Hey,
Mira.
hey. And then can you hear her talk?
Yeah, hello?
And can you hear that?
Hello?
Say hello, hello.
Hello, hello?
Can we turn her on? You're the mom. Who are you? Hi, what's up?
Hi, Alex. If
Okay.
Mira and Nyssa were in the same room, what would their conversation be?
I think you're hot. You want to make out? No. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Katrina. I'm Bob. I'm a big fan.
So, Bob, come up here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's happening. So this is my friend Bob. I met him at a convention, God, years ago at this point up here. And he's very shy. Wait, Bob, go grab a chair. Go grab a chair. And I told his wife, Nikki, that I was going to do this and not to tell him. And she kept it a very good secret. So, the way that we bonded was we saw each other at San Diego Comic-Con, and I needed a t-shirt for my friend back home. Of course, as an actor, we usually stand there and we are completely useless unless somebody holds our hand, takes us where we're supposed to go, and like says, say this or do that. Other than that, we kind of just stand there like, smiling and cute. But anyway, Bob was like, I'll do that. I can get you a t-shirt. So basically, they dragged us around San Diego Comic-Con, got us to the front of the line. Like, he worked the system. He was like, okay, this is blah, blah, blah. I need to get a t-shirt. And like, skipped the whole line and got me a t-shirt. And my friend was very happy. And then we had lunch. It was good. Yeah, this is Bob. Everybody say hi, Bob. Do I have spinach in my teeth? Yeah. I just ate lunch too. Okay, anyway, hi Bob, what's your question?
Why did you do this to me?
Because I'm evil. Okay, and go.
This was my first time ever asking a question at a convention too. So I know you have a new show out coming out called Training Day, and I wonder if you could tell us a bit about that. And I also know that you're involved in a lot of charities like KA-Razy, and if you could tell us some about that.
Yes, I can, Bob. So I got some really good news yesterday. I had a pilot that I shot a couple of months back called Training Day, and I found out yesterday that we got picked up and we have a 13-episode order on CBS. So I'm very excited. It's based off of the movie Training Day. It takes place 15 years after the movie, so we do play homage to the movie, and Denzel's character actually dying. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, sorry about that spoiler. Wow, I am like on point with this. Okay, so basically, 15 years later, I play Detective Lee, who is a detective in the SIS division of the LAPD, and basically the chief commissioner or whatever thinks that there's another Denzel-esque detective coming up, and she's basically like, there was so much damage done because everybody that he put away during his tenure as a detective basically got released after they found out he was corrupt. So we can't have that happen. LAPD can't suffer another, what am I saying? Tragedy? Scandal, good word. Scandal like that. So basically we need you, the new guy, to go in and kind of like spy on him. So that's kind of what the show is about. And Bill Paxton is the lead. And let me just tell you, if anybody's a Bill Paxton fan, he is amazing. Everything that you think about him, about being that nice, kind of goofy, fun guy, and just sweet and everything, he is so good. I mean, he's one of the few people that I walked on set and like, you are everything that I hoped and imagined he would be. So he's just an amazing, amazing guy, inside and out. And also he was amazing in this pilot, and I'm pretty sure he's going to win a couple of Emmys off of this because I think he's great. But anyway, so that's the new show, and oh yeah, duh. Totally gonna win an Emmy. So I'll just leave it up to Bill Paxton for now. And then, but anyway, if you guys want to check it out, I'm not sure if it's coming out in the fall or in like January or something like that, but I'm pretty sure it's fall. And I think it's good. I saw it yesterday, and I thought, or 2 days ago, I thought it was pretty good. And then, what was the other one?
Well, just quickly, how many episodes did they pick it up for?
13.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And the other was about KA-Razy.
Oh, so KA-Razy is this charity that I'm involved with. If anybody wants to, David Ramsey, who else did it from? Spartacus, no, I think that's it. We have a couple Spartacus people, but we're different. What? Dan does it. We got Stan Lee to pose with a kitten, and basically we auctioned that one off, and it's just, they're photos, and you get a little autograph on it with your name on it, and then all the stuff, all the money that after postage and stuff like that goes directly to saving animals. So if anybody's interested in that, it's a cool way to get a photo that's not like us in costume, but with a cat. Random, I know, but it's cool. So, awesome. Hey Bob, why don't you just kind of like chill up here for a while?
It's your show. Nobody wants to see you.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for helping me with that.
Hey.
Hey.
I might be interviewing you later, so I'm not going to make this too redundant. But it's a kind of a question about Nissa. Well, they didn't cast you as Talia, obviously, so I was wondering, was there a freedom in the sense that you didn't have to play Talia, but at the same time, was there any intimidation in being the first person to play Nissa?
Do you have a name?
Eric.
Okay. It's interesting, when I was cast, I didn't know who I was auditioning for. Like on the piece of paper, I want to say her name was like Greta or Jenna or something, and she was doing a scene with Oliver. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then they were like, we're gonna have you come back and do a chemistry read. And I was like, okay. And then first of all, the scene was like very flirty, kind of like angry that you don't love me anymore type of deal. And they're like, we're gonna have you come back and do a chemistry read. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, but it's gonna be with this girl, Katie Law. I'm like, okay, sweet. Well, you just send me the new sides, and then we'll just, we'll do whatever. And they're like, no, it's the same sides. I'm like, oh, okay. But this is like, it's a very flirty scene, so am I like doing it, is she my sister, or is she, what was happening?
That would have been awkward.
Yeah. And they're like, no, just do it the same way. And I'm like, oh, okay, am I a lesbian? They're like, we can't tell you that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So on Monday morning, I walk in, everybody's standing there, Katie Locks turns around, and it's like this beautiful blonde-haired girl with like, bright blue eyes, and there's just a moment where we kind of like looked at each other and we're like, let's do this. And apparently we had great chemistry, and that's how we got cast. So I didn't actually find out what my character was until TV Guide announced that I was cast, because they still hadn't told me. And because so between like me and my friends who were like really into comics, we kind of thought that maybe, oh my gosh, I can't even think of her name
I hope
right
you
now.
weren't sipping coffee like you're at the beer.
I know. No, I actually have a cover guard for moments like that. So, but I thought, oh my God, Lady Shiva. I thought maybe she was going to be Lady Shiva or something like that. And then all of a sudden they were like, Nissa, and I kid you not, we were all like, ooh. Okay. And then there were a couple people out there, they're like, oh, Nissa, duh, don't you know? I'm like, you didn't know who Nissa was. Nobody knows who this is. And they're like, no, she's totally, I'm like, you did research and now you think you know something. Anyway, so let's all just be really honest about that moment. But the great thing about it is that there is a freedom. We got to pick her costume, we got to pick her sexuality, we got to pick her accent, we got to pick her storyline, and basically make everything, because there isn't a Bible on her. Or it's a mini Bible because not too many people know about her. There was a freedom, whereas with Talia, there's a complete Bible of what her personality is, what she's done, who she's supposed to be, what her storyline's supposed to be. So yeah, we could have strayed from it, but at the same time the backlash would have been so hard that I think there was a beautiful freedom about just kind of being like, I get to create a character and make her the way that we want to, from costume to story to accent to characterization. So it was really cool to be able to do that.
Yeah, there could have been some red tape left over because it was so hot to be able to marry Cody's daughter too.
Yeah. Look at John go. You had no idea. Hello.
Hi. I was just wondering, what is the training like for Arrow compared to the training that you did on Spartacus? Was it a lot more easier playing Nisa compared to your character on Spartacus, or how was it?
Okay, so the biggest thing to keep in mind, the difference between Spartacus and Arrow, is Spartacus was shot in New Zealand, and Arrow is shot in Vancouver. So Vancouver is very much, we'll just call it like an American production, where there's unions, there's lawyers involved, they protect their actors, they make sure you have stunt doubles. If you're going to do stunts, they make sure you have pads, and that there are pads on the ground, and somebody's there to take care of you if somebody happens, and they're very much about protecting the actor. Like, for instance, people always ask, does Stephen Amell do his own stunts? And the answer is no. But he does most of his stunts, and he's completely capable of doing all of his stunts, but he's legally not allowed to. Do you know what I mean? Like, every now and then he'll fight for it and be like, no, I really want this entire thing to be me. But at the same time, you can't make an actor work for 14 hours a day doing physical fight choreography for 5 days a week and then not expect him to get injured, sick. Like, do you know what I mean? So the unions and the corporation is very much like, no, there's a limit on how much you can do. Which is great, because Steven's never missed a day of work. He's been able to perform 100% to his fullest ability. And like I said, he can do the parkour, he can do all the fight action, stuff like that. But if they're shooting on the back of your head, and they're not going to see your face anyway, why would you do it? Do you know what I mean? That's just like a lot of burnt calories that you don't need to worry about. You know what I mean? It's just like, why would you do that? So that's kind of what it's like in the US for everybody involved in any kind of action, stunt, anything, including the rest of the Arrow cast. Whereas in New Zealand, there's no union. It's like the Wild West. There are things happening down there that I'm like, I cannot believe that I am doing this. It is insane. So I'm gonna tell you a couple of stunt stories that would never, ever, ever happen in the United States. Ever. So there's a scene where the boys are in the arena, and I forget who it is, but I think it's on Mays, and he's on the ground, and one of the guys is on top of him, and he's supposed to be like stabbing his face. Sorry, kids. I don't know how you talk about Spartacus in front of children. Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't sleep with that like that. Okay. Anyway, so he's basically doing this. If my knee is the guy's face, he's supposed to be doing this to the sand. Like next to his face. And I guess at one point he got a little too excited, and because he has knives in his hands, and all of a sudden he was like, tee, 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 wham! And the guy on the ground was like, oh! So he gets up, and there's a little knife sticking out of his face. And then also, let me just tell you that New Zealanders are hardcore crazy. So he's like, oh. Walks over, super glues himself shut, comes back into the scene, finishes the scene, and then for the rest of the day is like drinking water and then pushing it out the side of his face. He doesn't even smoke, but all of a sudden he's like, give me a cigarette. Oh my God. So this was the type of stuff that was happening on Spartacus that would never happen on any show in the United States. So that was the fundamental difference. And then on Arrow, I have a beautiful stunt double named Atma Mitchell. She is wonderful. She's part of the Cirque du Soleil. She's the one who does all that like silk rope. She also doubles for the Black Canary. And people are always like, oh, why didn't you do the silk rope thing? I'm like, because I would fall to my death and like crack my face open on the sidewalk. That's what would happen. It would be like a one-take wonder, and Spartacus, they were like, yeah, you have a stunt double. Okay, cool. Is she coming to set today? No. Where's tomorrow? Okay, you want me to jump off of that and like land on that dude and then do a roll and then like run over here with a sword and like duck from the sword and then get like pick up that bow and arrow and shoot it? Yeah. Stunt double? Yeah. She's coming. She never showed up. I've never seen a stunt double in my entire life on Spartacus. She was non-existent. She was like this chick with like hidden in the shadows the entire time. But they swore she was there. So yeah, everything that I did on Spartacus, pretty much most of the people did were all their own stunts. And even if they had stunt doubles, they did everything, which is just kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's the difference between Spartacus / New Zealand and Arrow / America.
This video is sponsored by the KA-Razy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on Amazon, eBay, BrickLink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.